सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। We'll read mantra 3 on page 32. I'll chant and then you can follow. Yat prajnanamuta cheto dhritischa yajyotirantaramritam prajasu yasmanarite kinchana karma kriyate tanme manah shiva sankalpamastu. Together. Yat prajnanamuta cheto dhritischa yajyotirantaramritam prajasu yasmanarite kinchana karma kriyate tanme manah shiva sankalpamastu. Page 40. Yenedam bhutam bhuvanam bhavishyat parigrahitam amritena sarvam yena yajñastayate saptahota tanme manah shiva sankalpamastu. Yenedam bhutam bhuvanam bhavishyat parigrahitam amritena sarvam yena yajñastayate saptahota tanme manah shiva sankalpamastu. Tanme manah shiva sankalpam astu. May my mind be ever auspicious. And what is the auspicious mind? In mantra number 3, we saw the auspicious mind is the one that revels in prajnanam brahma. Consciousness is Brahman. How does one revel in that cheta? By being able to discriminate what is pure awareness and what is the ego. What's the difference between the two? Anything that I verbalize, I say I, that's the ego. Anything that changes is the ego. Anything that dissolves is the ego. When I start to gain this knowledge, what am I supposed to do? Dhriti, Hold on to it until the end and don't let it go. Sometimes it may be so hard to do 3 rounds of japa. It may be so difficult, but stay until we finish those 3 rounds of japa. Sometimes it may be hard to sit for a long time. There's cramps in the legs, but stay, hold on until the end. Sattvic Dhriti is when we commit to something sattvic and we see it through all the way. We finish strong. Rajasic Dhriti is when we hold on until we get what we want. That is very Rajasic. And Tamasic Dhriti is when we hold on to the wrong thing, thinking that it's in the right thing also. So that mind which has Sattvic Dhriti is indeed Shiva. That mind without which any action is performed. Without the mind, no action is performed. And we talked yesterday about how we fail before we try, because in our minds already we're failing. So if the mind thinks really big, then the actions will be big. If the mind thinks small, then the actions will be small. So sometimes we already fail here. So that mind which is Shiva is the mind which already succeeds here. And then the actions will come. It already succeeds. You start with success. When we start with success in the mind, success will naturally happen. It will happen because what you see is what you're going to get. That mind which starts with success is Shiva. In mantra number 4, we saw that mind which knows how to deal with the past, present, future. The mind which knows how to deal with the past reflects and feels mistakes so that I can change it, so that I'll become better. The mind that revels in the present knows how to add masala, right? Spice. So whenever I don't like the way things are going, add something. Add your own flavor to it, make it flavorful and take it. That's the beauty of life. And that mind which knows how to deal with the future never worries, because God's plan is better than my plan. And we talked about yesterday how we never thought that we would end up here all together. But look at God's plan, it's way better than our plans. Isn't it? Yena yajñas tayate saptahota. That mind through which the 7 priests perform their yajna. 7 priests, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and 1 mouth. And yesterday we talked about also, so we have so many different ways, different means to do yajna, especially in our culture. So many scripts, so many texts, so many things that we can delve in. So there should be no question of boredom, because we have a whole vast gamut of scripture that we can just dwell on. So that mind is Shiva that dwells in divinity. We begin today with mantra number 5. Yasmin richasama yajumshi yasmin. Yasmin richasama yajumshi yasmin. Pratishtita ratana bhavivaraha. Pratishtita ratana bhavivaraha. Yasmin chitam sarvamotam prajanam. Yasmin chitam sarvamotam prajanam. Tanme manas Shiva sankalpamastu. Tanme manas Shiva sankalpamastu. Yasmin richasama yajumshi yasmin. Pratishtita ratana bhavivaraha. Yasmin chitam sarvamotam prajanam. Tanme manas Shiva sankalpamastu. That mind is truly auspicious, truly divine. Which mind? That mind in which the Richa, Rig, Sama, Samaved, Yajumshi, Yajurved, that mind in which the Vedas are pratishtita, established. Like how Ratanabhao Araha. Iva, like that chariot hub. The way the spokes are established in that hub, that mind with which the Veda mantras are established, that mind is truly Shiva. Yasminschchitam sarvam otam prajanam. And that mind by which pervades all beings, that mind is truly Shiva. Is Shiva. So what does this mean? Actually, there's only one mind. There's only one mind which pervades all beings. This is called the total mind, or Ishvara. We forget that there's actually no disconnection from totality. And somehow we think that we are the individual. There's no such thing as really individual thought, individual idea, individual mind. Even the idea to have this yajna, we can't say it's somebody's idea. Because so many things have to come into play for something like this to happen. A book has to be there. The mantras have to be there. Puja Guruji who wrote it has to be there. Of course, Gurudev has to be there. All of us have to be there. So many factors have to come together to have one single thought. So actually there's no individual, there's only total. What happens is we forget that we are part of this total mind and we think that we are individuals, and that's where we make all the mistakes. So when we say that mind into which all the Veda mantras are connected, it means several things. Number one, what are the Vedas? The Vedas are divine revelations. They are divine revelations. They are not man-made thinking. They're not individual authorship. When our rishis were at the seat of contemplation, in their silence, the Veda mantras were revealed thousands of years ago. We say that the Vedas are eternal because they were always there. That knowledge was always there. But it's just that in that seat of quietude, it got revealed to our rishis. Why to them? Why not to anybody else? Because their minds were absolutely pure. So those minds which are capable of such divine revelations like the Veda, that's truly Shiva. Imagine what our minds would have to be to get such revelations. How pure they would have to be. See, many people think that God is partial and God blesses only some people but not me. I suffered through so many things in life, but how come other people are doing so well? They do so many bad things. Look at that. And many people get this idea that God is partial. God is impartial. But the ones who connect to God will get that grace. Grace is nothing but me connecting to God. When I'm connected to God, I get grace. When I'm not connected to God, I get disgrace. God is like Wi-Fi. God is everywhere, all pervading, pervades everyone's homes, pervades everyone's minds, pervades everyone's hearts. But why is it some people have faster connection? Because their phones are better. Their phones are way better, isn't it? They have iPhone X. I think that's the latest one. They have iPhone X or Samsung Galaxy, whatever is the latest. They have the latest equipment. Means it's new. Means it's available. It's ready. So their ability to connect with Bhagavan is so smooth. They're able to download everything quicker. But with our minds that are slow, that have so many apps open, have so many things going on, then that Wi-Fi is going to be like 2G or 3G. It's going to be so slow to download God's grace. Now, how can you blame Wi-Fi? Is it Wi-Fi's fault? No, it's the equipment that I have. It's my phone, which in this case is my mind. Just like when we have to log into Wi-Fi, we need a password. To log into God, we need a password. And that password is purity. It's absolute purity. The purer the mind, the more revelations come. So you can imagine how pure the minds of these rishis were. To get the Veda, to get Tattvamasi, to get Aham Brahmasmi, to get these Om Purnamada, to get all of these Vedic mantras. That's why they never wrote their names. No Veda has any name there. Because they believed that it was only Bhagavan coming to them. That's the same as you and I. In our day-to-day lives, it's not that God doesn't answer our prayers. God answers, but it's not like God's going to come and talk to us and say, hey, this is the solution. No, God doesn't work like that. The answers come through people, through books, through places, through some WhatsApp code. Sometimes exactly what you needed to hear you will get. Sometimes you're in a bookstore and somehow that book that you need will make you gravitate towards it. And sometimes you open a book and you open it to the page and that page is exactly the message that you need to read. So this is how God answers our prayers. This is how God connects to us. But only when we are pure, we get it. We say, okay, now I know what you're trying to say. So that mind, which is capable of divine revelations from the Vedas, and that mind which is pure enough to gain God's answers, that mind is truly Shiva. God speaking to us all the time. In the sunrise, and the blooming of a flower, in different blades of grass, through a mother, through a father, through her spouse, through her children. God speaks to us all the time. But very few are able to receive it. It's like when we read a book. We read a book a first time, and what happens? We get it, but it's okay, After a few years, we pick up the same book, and we're like, oh my God, look at this book, it's so amazing. What happened? Did the book change? We changed. The dosha, the defect is never in the scripture. The defect is in the mind. The purer the mind, the more we are able to get the scripture. So that mind is Shiva. What else with the mind being centered on the Veda? Those minds which preserve the Veda, those minds are Shiva. There's one thing that our rishis got those revelations, but for somebody to come up and say, let's preserve all of this. Let's put it together. Let's make sure we memorize it and we pass it on from Guru Shishya. Let's put it into writing. Let's put it into print. Let's make it a book. Do you know how much effort they had? They were writing in palm leaves. They didn't have like a computer or YouTube or cloud or Dropbox. They didn't have any of these gadgets. Nowadays, you tell children to write one paragraph, they're like, my hand hurts. Imagine how much our rishis, and that too, that's not that they had these magic pens, like, ink, you had to replace that ink all the time. Yeah, well, I mean, and then they have to stitch it and they have to put it all together. It was a whole different world back then. We have no idea what it took for them to preserve this. But still they did it. Because of that, this which is 5,000 years old, is in your hands. Sometimes we forget how wonderful that is. Something that's so old is in your hands. Whenever I talk to the kids, I ask them, what's the oldest thing that you have in your house? One kid said, my grandma. I said, I didn't mean that way. So I had to tell him, okay, think about things, not the people in your house. But we cannot think, we can think of something in our house 70 years old, 80 years old, 5,000 years. And the work of our rishis, they preserve it with sanctity. That's very important. Many times now we will find Gita for successful business or Gita for successful relationships, Gita for school. This is very good, okay? But somehow the depth may be missed. Gita's for moksha. It's okay to use Gita for business and for schools and for everything, but they must not miss the point that it's for moksha. That's what the Shastras are for. So sometimes in the preservation of certain books, certain things that we have, the sanctity is lost. Yoga asanas, they are preserved. And they are very sacred because yoga asanas help us to meditate. Now that should not be lost. It's not to look good. It's not to lose weight. It's to reach the divine. So preservation, when we're making the effort to preserve our sacred scriptures, they must be done with sanctity. And that's why it's important to have a Guru Shishya Parampara. When you have it from Guru Shishya Parampara, then you know it's preserved and it's sacred. So that kind of preservation is difficult. It's not easy. Along with preservation is those who provide the kshetra or the field for this kind of work to go on. Our mission centers, many different mission centers, temples, schools, people who host, people who have class in their home. They are also preserving. They're preserving our Shastra. They're preserving our scriptures. That is also keeping the mind centered in the Veda. That's a contribution. I told you I went to this Vivekananda center upstate. They didn't want to preserve it. The place where Swami Vivekananda had stayed in the 1890s, they didn't want to preserve it. So sometimes your heart would break when people don't want to preserve places like that. Even Adi Shankaracharya ji's maternal home in Kerala, where we went, they said they're ready to give it up. How do you give up Adi Shankaracharya ji's home? So those that fight to preserve this, they're very Shiva. Nowadays, our preservation is, we know how to preserve curd, isn't it? That curd, somebody's curd for 20, that culture we preserve, They keep in the fridge and then use that same culture. We preserve things like that, or we preserve pickle. But the idea to preserve Shastras is something very deep. And nowadays, I must say, we are very happy that more people are taking to our culture, but we're just a little bit aware that that sanctity shouldn't be lost, in the sense that nowadays many places will also celebrate Holi, which is fantastic, but the depth of Holi should not be lost. Many times Diwali is being celebrated in schools, but what it truly means should not be lost. So those minds which preserve the Veda, the scriptures, are important. How else is the mind centered on the Veda? The mind that chants the Veda. That also is very, very divine. By Veda, when I keep saying Veda, I mean our Shastras, our scriptures. It could be the Bhagavad Gita, it could be Stotrams, it could be Suktams, it could be any of that. What's really beautiful now is in the West, they are chanting Veda. It's so amazing to see, and in the proper swaras, in the proper tones. What's so important about chanting all of this? Does it have an effect? You see, we studied that the mind is a flow of thoughts. What does that mean? It means like the mind is kind of made up of sentences, which means the mind is kind of made up of words and letters. And letters are made up of sound, and sound is made up of vibration. So the mind is made up of vibration. What is a mantra? A mantra is nothing but a vibration, but a divine one. So when we chant a divine mantra, Medha Suktam, let's say, that Medha Suktam has the vibration of charged memory. One's memory will be so alert because that mantra is giving that vibration. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. That mantra, what vibration does that give? It gives a brilliant intellect, so clear, so precise. It gives that vibration. So the one who chants Bhagavad Gita, Veda, our Suktams, all of that, Vishnu Sahasranama, that mind is divine. Not mechanical chanting, magical chanting. Not like how nowadays, Om Sahasra Shesha, Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapat. But you're chanting, but the mind is going somewhere else. Sometimes you're chanting Hanuman Chalisa. Did I finish that Chaupai? I forgot. Did I finish that Chaupai? Sukshma Rupa, did I do that already? I don't know. Or sometimes we're chanting something else, Vishnu Sahasranama or something like that. Did I say that name? Or how did I finish 100 names? Where did my mind go? I don't even remember chanting it. What happens now is we mechanically chant. And we say nicely, I chant this, I chant that. Very good. But what is that chanting? It still has an effect, no doubt. But more important than mechanical chanting is magical chanting. Magical chanting means we don't have to know each and every word. Because I know it's hard. It's hard to know each and every word. If we're chanting Rudram or Purusha Suktam or Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam. But at least if we know trigger words. If some words trigger. So if I'm chanting Hanuman Chalisa, then I can say Jai Hanuman Gyana Guna Sagar Jai Kapi Satino Lok Ujagar. At least for each chopai I'll know, okay, the one, that monkey god who is the Lord of all three worlds. At least something I'll know for each chopai. Some trigger word should be there. Then at least the mind will come back to Hanumanji. Otherwise it will go here, there, everywhere but to Hanumanji. All around. So that mind which chants the Vedic mantras, the Gita, that mind is divine. But magically, not mechanically. You also feel it. You will feel in you when a mantra is properly chanted, truly, you will feel it inside. You will feel it. That's how you know that it's being chanted well. And the power will manifest in you. In that Om Namah Shivaya. That itself is so extremely powerful. Or Bhagavan Rama's name, Lord Krishna's name. So powerful. But we have to chant it magically. Okay. What else is that mind which is centered on the Veda? That mind which actually goes to the meaning of it. So there's one that chants, but even more deeper than that is one who enchants, one who digs deeper to the meaning of it. What's this word mean? What is being said? That is just beautiful. You know, we always chant Om Sahana Bhavatu, right? We chant before we start class. When I was in Sandipani, we learned Kathopanishad. And in Kathopanishad, this mantra comes. And Adi Shankaracharya ji, he writes a commentary on this mantra. And my God, when we learned the meaning of this mantra, I was just floored. Each and every word, he gave the meaning. That mantra alone tells us the ideal relationship between the Guru and Shishya. How it should be before a class starts. So deep. So one who inquires into the depth of that is Shiva. Deeper than that, one who reflects on that, who shares that, so that many more people can benefit. When we hear something, we see something we like, we read something we like to share it to people because it will make their lives Shiva. Not like how so many useless WhatsApp messages will forward. Nobody wants to read your message anymore. From this person, I'm not gonna read. That mind is Shiva, which truly shares that which is Shiva. If something is really meaningful, when we reflect on it deeper, then that mind is divine. What other mind is divine? The one who lives the Veda. Now, that mind truly, truly is divine. So in some way, you and I should be centered to the Veda, to our Shastra, to our scriptures. Either we are that which gains the revelations, if the mind is so utterly pure, either we're that mind which preserves the Shastra in whatever way we can, or we're that mind which chants it and keeps it alive. Because you know, when you also chant, your whole house gets that vibration. You know, some people, they put that the mantra in their puja room so that the vibrations will be good. There's an effect there. But more important than what's being chanted is who's chanting it. That purity also adds to that mantra. There's an effect. But when the person who's chanting is very pure, there's a real effect. That's why you will see the difference when you hear live Vedic chanting versus YouTube. Right? You feel it. There's a purity. There's like you tremble. Or either I am learning the scriptures, I'm reflecting on them, and I'm making every single effort to lift them. This is what's being centered on our Shastra. There are some people who are self-centered, but there are even others who are centered on the self, on the divine self. That mind is Shiva. So yasmin richa sama yajumshi yasmin pratisthita ratanabha vivaraha yasmin shchitam sarvamotam prajanam tanme mana Shiva Sankalpam astu. That mind is divine. We go to the next one. Mantra number 6. Susharate shvani vayan manushyan neniyate bhishubhirvajina iva hrit pratishtam yadajiram javishtam tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. Susharadeshwani vayan manushyan Neniyate dhishu bhirvachina iva Hrit pratishtam hridajiram javishtam Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu. May my mind be auspicious. How? Susaratihi becomes Susharati. Susarathi means that mind which is a good charioteer. So good. Sarathi, charioteer. Ashwan, that mind has some horses. And what does that mind do? It's like Yan Manushyan. It's like a man, a person, ne niyate, which controls abhi shubhihi, which controls reins. Which controls reins meaning what? Which controls the reins where the horses are. So the reins which are holding the horses, that mind is controlling those reins. The reins, the horses symbolize our sense organs. So that mind which is controlling our sense organs. Rit pratishtam, that mind which is ever established within. Pratishtam means established. Rit, within, in our heart. Yat ajiram. Ajiram means that which is ageless. Javishtam, that mind which is fast, which is quick, which is agile. Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpam astu. So what does this mean? It means this. It means that the mind is like a driver and the senses are like a Honda or whatever car you have, okay? So the mind is like a driver and the senses are like a car. I'm not saying horses now because we don't really travel in that mode anymore. So this way you'll understand better. Now first think of what is a good driver like. You know, when you go to Bharat and you go on all these yatras and everything, you want a good driver. What's a good driver like? Number one, a good driver has a guide. Has a guide to tell them where to go. Has some GPS amma or tata, right? GPS means God positioning system or Guru Parampara system. That driver has a GPS, has a Guru which directs them how to go, where to go. And that driver surrenders to that GPS. You know, you and I have a great sense of surrender to our GPS. GPS will say, turn right. Yes, turn right. Turn left, turn left. Traffic ahead, slow down. Take this alternate route. Okay, take it. We are so attentive with our GPS. But if Bhagavan says turn right, why? Why should I go? Why should I turn there? Bhagavan says turn left, now you do this. Why should I do that? Bhagavan says now time to slow down in your life. Why should I slow down? We completely question God. But that good driver is one who doesn't question the GPS. The GPS being Bhagavan. The GPS said go, then go. Go right, go right. Go left, go left. Go straight, go straight. This is what you call good driver. What else about the good driver? Good driver doesn't get lost. Huh? Sometimes our minds get lost. See, a good driver knows that is guided by Bhagavan and knows where it has to go. Very clear about the destination. But first of all, you and I, sometimes we're not clear about the destination. Where exactly are we going? We forget. There's only one place that we're all going, and that's Om. We're going back to ourselves. And the driver is very clear about that. This is where I want to go. Therefore, that driver doesn't get lost. But what happens to you and I? We keep changing the destination, isn't it? We're supposed to go here. We're supposed to go to reach the self. We're supposed to go to ever abide in the self, but we keep changing the destination. Let me go here, let me go there, let me go everywhere else, but not where I'm supposed to go. So a good mind is the kind of mind that doesn't get lost. That mind is divine. It's forever on the route, and it's so focused. And that mind, like that good driver, also knows when to take breaks. Sometimes it can be hard. It's not that we have to go full on. If you have to drive 14, 15 hours, it's hard. The drivers to take a break. So that mind is divine when that mind knows how to take a break. Especially when you go to Bharat, the drivers, they'll know. They'll say, for 5 hours, there's going to be no nice toilet or everything like that. So you better go now. Do everything now. Go for it. There's going to be no food. But there's a dhaba. My friend is there. He'll make for you garam parota. Now you eat. This is what you do for 5 hours. Don't bother me because there's no place. We'll be in a gao. We'll be in a village only. There's no place to stop. Isn't it? So that mind, which is divine, also knows when to take breaks. Here, you take a break. But after this, for 5-6 hours, zoom. Don't go here and there. When we come to satsang, that's the time we sit, and that's it. No going here and there. No looking here and there. No thinking what's this, what's that. Stay there. Then after that, if you want to take a break, you take a break. But that mind is divine when it knows when to take a break. Because it's hard on this path. Nobody said it's easy. Like that driver, which is very entertaining. We all love entertaining drivers. They know how to put on the right music, and they know how to, they know the scenic route, and they know the culture, they know the story of the things. You like those drivers because they're so good. Like that mind is divine, which can be entertained all the time. It will never ask, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? It's ever able to keep itself entertained because it's driving this body. So that kind of driver, that kind of mind is truly Shiva. When that mind has a guide, when that mind knows the road so much that it doesn't get lost anywhere, when that mind knows exactly when to take a break, when that mind enjoys the ride, but never forgets where it's going. That mind is truly Shiva. But that mind has to be accompanied by that kind of body which is also in good condition. Therefore, the body, for the mind to keep it going, that car, the body must be in good condition. This you already know, so I don't have to tell you. Waking up early, before 6, like we planned for our tapas. Doing our sadhana, exercise, food, but not too much, right? Proper sleep. All of those basic things help to keep the body in good condition so that the driver can drive. Now, there's a point in time will come in our lives where we're listening to Bhagavan, we're tuning into Bhagavan, and Bhagavan is kind of driving the chariot through us. We're listening to Bhagavan, our minds become very pure, and we're listening to Bhagavan. A point in time will come wherein Bhagavan will just take over. There is a slight difference between tuning in and God taking over. When I'm tuning into God, still a little bit of ego is left there. And I'm tuning into God and God is functioning through me. But a point in time will come when that ego is completely gone and I'm no more, it's just God. God has taken over. means the instrument has merged with the musician. This driver has merged with that driver. That is truly Shiva. So it's a process. The purer we get, the more we get Bhagavan's grace. The purest we get Bhagavan. There's a difference. For our saints and sages, where's the question of getting God's grace? They get Bhagavan. For you and I, whenever we can, we'll get grace. Otherwise, we'll just run in this race endlessly, right? So this is the process that a seeker goes through. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, who is a charioteer? Lord Krishna is a charioteer. Lord Krishna is the driver. But for that to happen, how much Arjuna had to surrender? How much? So that mind is truly Shiva. Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpam astu. We will read now. I'm ending a little early today on purpose so that we can summarize what we've done. Then we'll have our reflection questions to see if anyone reflected. And then we'll conclude with Guru Dakshina. So on the last page, if we can, I'll chant and then you chant after me. And then we'll chant together for each one. Okay? Just why we're doing this, just so it sticks. Once this rhythm goes in the mind, Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpamastu, then at least we know that whenever some inauspicious thing comes, let it only be Shiva. Let it only be Shiva. Okay? Yajagrato duramudaiti devam Tadu suptasya tathaivaiti Durangamam jyotisham jyotirekam Tanme mana Shiva sankalpamastu. Together. Yajagrato duramudaiti devam Tadu suptasya tathaivaiti Durangamam jyotisham jyotirekam Tanme mana Shiva sankalpamastu. Yena karmanya paso manishinaha Yagne krinvanti vidatheshu dhiraha Yad apurvam yakshamantah prajana Tanme mana Shiva sankalpamastu. Yena karmanya paso manishinaha Yagne krinvanti vidatheshu dhiraha Yadapurvam yakshamantah prajana Tanme mana Shiva sankalpamastu. Yat prajnanamutacheto dhritischa Yad jyotirantaramritam prajasu Yasmanarite kinchana karma kriyate Tanme mana Shiva sankalpamastu. Yat prajnanamutacheto dhritischa Yad jyotirantaramritam prajasu यस्मान्नरते किञ्चन कर्म क्रियते तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु येनेदं भूतं भुवनं भविष्यत् परिगृहीतममृतेन सर्वम् येन यज्ञस्तायते सप्तहोता तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु येनेदं भूतं भुवनं भविष्यत् परिगृहीतममृतेन सर्वम् येन यज्ञस्तायते सप्तहोता तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु यस्मिन् ऋचः सामयजुंषि यस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठिता रत्नाभाविवाराः यस्मिंश्चित्तं सर्वमूतं प्रजानाम् तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु यस्मिन् ऋचः सामयजुंषि यस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठिता रत्नाभाविवाराः यस्मिंश्चित्तं सर्वमूतं प्रजानां तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु सुषारतिर्श्वानि वयन्मनुष्या नेनीयते भेषुभिर्वाजिन इव हृत्प्रतिष्ठं यदजिरं जविष्ठम् तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु सुषारतिर्श्वानि वयन्मनुष्यान् नेमीयते भीषुभिर्वाजिन इव हृत्प्रतिष्ठं यदजिरं जविष्ठम् तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु. I'll just give you some taglines for each mantra so that we can remember what we've studied. For mantra number 1, the tagline is stay grounded. Because this is the mantra where we saw that when we wake up, the mind goes duramudeti, it goes really, really, really far. So before it goes really, really far, ground it to God. And before we sleep, it will come back. But what we sleep with, we wake up with. So again, ground it to God. For mantra number 2, soar high. In this mantra, we talked about having conviction that this mind is the one that does or leads us to selfless work. And with this mind, what is unique, that mind which is truly unique, is the mind which seeks the highest, apurvam. And the mind which is yaksham, worshipful, is the mind that gives the best. So the mantra number 2 is soar high. For number 3, the tagline is finish strong. Here we learned about prajnana. The consciousness is Brahman, how to differentiate consciousness in the ego, and that we should hold on until the end. Think big and our actions will be big. Mantra number 4 is good times. Good times because so that we know how to deal with each, the past, the present, the future. Past is our lessons. Present, we entertain ourselves. In future, there never should be a worry because God knows best. Mantra number 5, centered in the Vedas. So in mantra number 5, I explained various ways of us to be centered in the Vedas, either through revelations, through preservation, through chanting, through studying, through reflecting, and then finally through living. So mind, which is centered in the Vedas. Mantra number 6, the mind, which is a good driver. Either we're the driver in the beginning, and then Bhagavan is the driver towards the end. This mantra, I did not explain 3 words, so I'll just tell you what they are. Rit Pratishtam means that which is ever grounded in oneself. Ajiram. Ajiram means the mind which is ageless. When we say ageless mind, what do we mean? It means the mind that's always fresh, not tired. That mind, whenever you meet someone, no matter what time of the day, that mind that can be fresh for everybody, that is Ajira. So I go to work, I'm fresh. I come back home, I'm fresh. I'm doing the dishes, I'm fresh. And even before I sleep, I'm fresh and ready to sleep. That mind is truly Shiva. Everyone that they interact with, they're fresh. They're not like, oh, okay, let's do it. Yeah, that kind of mind is Ashiva. Nobody will want to deal with that kind of mind. So when we say ageless mind, that which can retain its freshness throughout the day. How? You do Kapalabhati. Or best is you chant Bhagavan's name. Be centered in the self. And it will stay fresh. Javishtam, that mind which is quick. What do you mean by that mind which is quick? That mind which is quick to do good, which can think on its feet. That mind is Shiva. You know which mind is Shiva? When you have a good thought and it becomes a good action and it takes 2 minutes, that mind is truly Shiva. Sometimes the distance between a good thought and a good action could be months, could be days, could be years even. That mind is like, okay. But that mind which can convert a good thought into a good action in minutes, that mind is truly Shiva. That mind is truly something. Puja Gurudev was like that. What he thought of, it was done in minutes. It happened. You could see it. You could see it come alive. So that's what we mean by Javishtam. Tanme mana Shiva Sankalpam astu. So may our minds ever think auspicious thoughts and be centered on the self. Now, anybody has any questions? Anything you want to share?
So on chanting, is it the same chanting with a voice, or can you do it silently? If you're going through 3 malas and you're doing